In 2025, all you need is belief to achieve your dream. Like they say, you must believe it to achieve it. Lock into that mindset and you got this. You have to see yourself at a certain level. We don't rise to our expectations or to our dreams. We fall to our standards and to our baselines. And what I mean by that is, if you don't see yourself being the type of person who can amass millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, or even tens of thousands of dollars a month, then you will never be able to amass that. And one thing that I recognized is sometimes we get lost in chasing the dollar amount, and especially with something like trading. One thing that we get distracted from in trading is that we're not chasing money. And trading makes that hard to recognize because you're not really building something in trading. And I feel like that is why trading is such a hard business to acquire, because you're doing the exact opposite. You're looking at that dollar amount every day. You're doing the exact opposite of what life typically is. And so you kind of have to ignore that dollar amount and believe that what you want is already done. If you don't operate out of the vibration that you have already amassed that success that you want to, or it's already achieved, you just have to work towards that, it won't work. And like I said, most of you guys are here for my trading journey, which if you haven't seen the last video, this channel is not strictly about trading anymore, but this is a journey for me, you guys, and all in itself. If you are struggling to achieve anything business-wise, recognize that you are the issue. You are probably chasing that outcome instead of doing the things that it takes. You have to show up and do what it takes, and then that byproduct will come. So if you are trying to, for example, I am trying to create a big channel. I'm trying to turn this channel into a big personal development channel. I'm trying to create entertainment videos and turn that. I can't focus on the outcome. I can't focus on how many views this video gets. I can't focus on the numbers behind it, how many subscribers I get or lose. I can't focus on those things. I simply have to focus on the things that I can control. I simply have to focus on showing up, making the content better every day, getting in the reps, getting more comfortable in front of the camera. Those are the things that I have to focus on. If you are trying to become a trader, you are not focusing on that payout. You are not focusing on passing that challenge, and you are definitely not focusing on just any withdrawal, any number amount, especially in a day-to-day. What you need to be focused on is simply the system that will get you there. And this isn't anything in life. You have to focus on following your process day in and day out, while assuming that it's already done. I have this right here. Trust the process, don't rush the process. Trusting the process is like one of the most important things that we can do, just because of the fact that if you see that it worked for somebody else, it can work for you. Don't look at what somebody else has and be like, damn, I wish that was them. No, say, dang, they did that, so I know that I can achieve that. You have to just assume that trusting the process, you will get there. And you have to have, I seen Avery B made a video about this, but he was talking about how you have to be delusional, holding a false belief that is not based in reality despite evidence to the contrary. So you have to, with yourself and with your business, you have to honestly believe the opposite. Like, most people work 9 to 5s. Most people get up every day and are struggling. You have, with $0 in your pocket, you have to assume you will be rich tomorrow. You have to be so delusional with no evidence that what you are working towards will work. You just have to believe in your process and your system so much, so unbelievably much, that you will get there. And that's in any level of business, any level of life. When it comes to showing up and going to the gym, right? A lot of people will fall off on their diet, me being one, fall off on their stuff because one day that scale went up, or for a couple of weeks or so, the scale didn't move much. In that moment, I'm focusing on the outcome and not focusing on what gets me the outcome. If you start focusing too much on the outcome, you will not be able to focus on the processes that it takes you to get there. I feel like I've been rapping and yambling and yapping a little bit during this video, but I really just wanted to give the importance of just believing in yourself, believing in what it takes to get there, and having an unrealistic amount of faith in yourself. Because if you don't believe in you, who's going to believe in you? Most people are going to tell you that what you want to accomplish in this world, especially if you dream big, especially if you're watching channels like this, most people are going to tell you that that's not realistic. Go get a job. They're going to tell you to play it safe, that what you want to do is not sustainable in life. And you have to be the one person to believe that no matter what, this works. Before I made any money, I lived with my mom, so I was late on rent a couple of times, and she would tell me, like, you might have to go back and get a job. Like, you're tripping. Like, you're being late. And she wasn't coming at that as a place of like, oh, my situation is different because my mom believes in me, but she wasn't coming at that from a place of like, you suck, blah blah blah. She's telling me something that's realistic. It makes sense. We all know that in order to make money, you trade your time for money. So when I was doing something that was opposite from the indoctrination of the world, which was trading to make money, but I wasn't being successful in it, it was something that she looked at and was kind of like, are you sure this works? And it's like, that makes sense because she's not being delusional about my dream. I'm the only one that can be and will be delusional enough about my dream. I was so delusional at that time that I was like, no, I'm not going back to get a job. Like, kind of brushed her off a little bit. And then in the next 4 or 5 or 6 months after having that conversation with her, I feel like I made her proud to a certain extent because of the amount of money that I amassed in trading. So like I said, be delusional. Think that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve, because I promise you, this world is all about law of attraction. If you align yourself with the reality and with the outcome that you desire, it will come into fruition. But yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoy the new spin on the channel. If you have watched this particular video, make sure you guys are getting 1% better every day. Make sure you're operating out of the model because nothing. There's never an excuse or a reason as to why you're not doing at least one thing to get one step closer to your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations. It has been KIAREY Love, and I am out. Peace. What's I am up?